How's it going, everybody? I'm Andy. He's Dylan. They're the Dodgers.
We survived.
The Heat.
The Heat. Everybody survived.
Man, it was a rough one.
Well, the Astros didn't survive.
No, they burnt up upon re-entry.
Yeah.
Get it? Yeah. So, Clayton Kershaw was very good tonight. 11 strikeouts, 7 innings. Vintage Kershaw, his 5th postseason performance where he struck out 10 batters or more, but I would say it's probably the best of his career. You covered all of it. I mean,
yeah, you know, I think I'm onto something here. When he pitches in the postseason on regular rest, and not on 3 days rest, he's pretty good.
Huh. Yes.
It's weird, isn't it?
They should have tried that earlier.
They should have. Like. Yeah, I think we need to start questioning Friedman and Zaidi's strategy here of going with the 3 starters in the previous postseason.
Well, I think that was more out of necessity than by design.
Well, they could have traded players.
You know, we could litigate the past, but I'm not here to talk about Cole Hamels. Kershaw had really outstanding stuff tonight. The fastball was working. The slider was really working. It seemed like the slider kind of had the sweep and the depth to it that had been missing in previous starts. And the Astros, who are, you know, they led the league in batting average, on-base percentage, slugging percentage. They struck out fewer than any team in baseball. They looked pretty feeble against him.
Yeah, you know, what I really like, too, right, is the 6th inning. He gets through that. Bottom of the 6th, he's the second guy up. You know, we were up in the press box kind of debating this whole thing. I was making the case, let the guy go back out there, and he proved me right, which is just kind of wonderful. And you're doubting your whole doubts. You doubted the man. You should not. I told you, man. I've been covering this guy longer than you have. He's still Clayton Kershaw.
I am a doubting Andy. That is true. Yeah, I mean, I would have considered hitting for him there in the 6th, and it ended up, of course, not mattering because these are the 2017 Dodgers, and so of course they make 2 quick outs against Dallas Keuchel, who hadn't really given an inch in, you know, 4 or 5 innings, and then Chris Taylor walks and Justin Turner hits a home run. It's basically how it works now.
Yeah, it's really just kind of amazing. I think, you know, I think, you know, those of us that are around here a lot, obviously Turner's in his 4th year here, you know, his 3rd year as the everyday third baseman. He made an all-star team this year, you know, so it's not really like breaking news that Justin Turner's a great player. But I do think when you kind of pause here and kind of look back at his journey here, it's really amazing that he's, you know, and part of it is the look, right? He's got the beard and the whole mane and everything. And yeah, he's gonna kind of, I think, wind up being one of the real iconic players of this era.
I mean, for the Dodgers, for sure. I mean, he's their best player, you know. I mean, especially with Corey Seager looking a little limited physically, you know, it's Turner. I mean, he's their guy. And, you know, to the point where I think Dave Roberts was asked after the game if he's going to keep Turner in the 2 spot tomorrow, and, you know, sort of greeted this like, you know, he's like, no, Corey's going to bat second. It's like, well, why? I mean, Turner's like the best player on the planet. Like, he should bat as much as possible. So it's interesting. I'm curious if you think, though, that I mean, you obviously picked the Astros in 5 because you want to go home. You don't actually think that's what's going to happen?
Well, I might go. It's going to end in 5, one way or the other.
You want it to end in 5. So now you have Dodgers in 5?
You know, I went with the Astros, so I'll stick with that for now. If they lose tomorrow, I'll switch and make it Dodgers.
But this doesn't actually change kind of what, like, I had Dodgers in 7. I don't think this actually changed the composition of the series too much. I mean, the Dodgers had the advantage tonight. They had their best guy going. Keuchel is a great pitcher, but he's not the Astros' best guy. I think tomorrow's going to be really interesting with Rich Hill and Justin Verlander.
Well, I think that they had to win today. You know, if they
it would have been really tough,
they lost, you know, it was really hard for me just before the start of the series to kind of envision a route to victory for the Dodgers without Kershaw winning. You know, once at least, if not twice. And I just thought that really them losing today would have really put them behind the 8 ball. Obviously, it kind of, you know, turned out to kind of be a non-issue here. You know, and again, I do like the fact that he went to 7. Just because, you know, you could talk about how good the bullpen is. At some point, they're going to give up a run. It's going to have to happen,
theory,
you know? And so, you know, I think any time that you don't have to go to that pen too early, I think is something you have to take advantage of, because there are going to be games where it's going to kind of play out the way this postseason has, where the starter goes 5 innings and you're going to have to get 4 innings. You ask 4 innings from the pen every single day. One of these days, something bad's going to happen. So I really think that extra inning there was kind of key.
And it sets up well for tomorrow too, because Rich Hill's probably going to 5 and dive. He's done it in his 2 other starts. You know, maybe he'll go 6, maybe he'll go 4. You know, but it's hard to imagine him getting through 7. So they will have, you know, Morrow should be available probably only for a batter or 2. Jansen will still be available for a multi-inning save. Maeda's available. All the lefties are available. So they're set up okay. It's just a matter of whether or not they can get to Verlander.
I'm kind of curious now, because you covered the Royals when they won the World Series. now you're in like an actual real city here.
Yeah, it's great.
Los
I love
Angeles. I had never been to a World Series game.
Yeah.
How did you find the whole atmosphere here?
It was okay. It was better in Kansas City. It was louder in Kansas City.
Oh man, you're gonna really upset some people.
I'm just, it was good atmosphere, but Kansas City was different though. There was like a
There's nothing else going on.
Honestly, it's the only game in town. So there was a more like physical, visceral feeling inside the ballpark every out. But this was still pretty good atmosphere.
And to everybody's credit, everybody showed up on time. Everybody gets on Dodger fans for kind of being late.
Yeah.
I guess we figured out the key there. If everybody ditches work. And I spoke to a lot of people as I went out to get food. The lobster roll, by the way, behind left field at the barbecue stand, excellent. And I spoke to a lot of people while I was in line there.
Yeah.
Everybody ditched work.
That's
great. If during the regular season you want the stands full, the Dodgers should campaign to tell people skip work.
They should have everyone to go on strike at their various jobs. But we're not here to talk about unions. We're here to talk about the Dodgers. Thank you for watching. You can follow all the coverage in the pages of the LA Times and at latimes.com/Dodgers. Follow Dylan on Twitter at Dylan O. Hernandez. We'll say it right there in a lovely Chiron. And you can follow me on Twitter at this Chiron. Have a good one.